Hey everyone, welcome back to Experience Studio. In our very first tutorial, I showed you how to download and install Photoshop completely. And now, in this second tutorial, we are jumping into the fun part, creating our very first poster design together. The design we will be working on today is a simple health poster flyer, and of course, a professional one. Let me quickly show you a preview of what we'll be creating today. Don't worry, if you are still a total beginner, I will break everything down step by step so you can follow along easily. Alright, let's dive right into our first poster design. So today's tutorial, we are creating a professional health flyer in Photoshop. In this tutorial, I'll walk you step by step through designing a clean and a modern medical flyer poster. Now that Photoshop is ready, let's jump into our very first project, a healthy flyer design from scratch. So open your Photoshop, create new, and over here, let's rename our folder, my first poster design. And also, since we want to design a poster or a flyer for social media purpose, we will switch from the inches to pixels. And let's adjust our width to 1080. And also the height to be 1080 pixels. Resolution 300 is okay. The color code or the color mode, we will use RGB color mode for now because we are dealing with social media posts or flyers. We are going to use the RGB color mode. Imagine we were designing it for printing purpose. We will use the CMYK color. But since we are focusing much on social media, we are supposed to use the RGB color mode. Okay, so now this is our Canva. So this is 1080. Sorry, this is 1080 and 1080 pixels. The length and then also the height is 1080. So it's more of like a square Canva or a square artboard. So to start with our design now, we need to set a border around this art so our design doesn't go out of this border. And we are going to use the Photoshop rule to guide or protect our design from the Canva. It's very important to do this as a designer and also as a beginner who is learning to be a professional designer. So to use the rule feature, Ctrl R, and this is the rule around the border here. So right click and drag. Do same for all the edges. And set them to 0.5. Alright, so now we have our border. So this is our safe area. Anything outside here is a wrong dimension. So this is our safe area. But as we keep designing or as we take in the journey designing, we are going to break some of the rules to make the design more appealing and also more interesting. So there is a lot more to learn from here. Alright, so after creating the border around the Canva or the artboard, we will now go ahead and customize our own shape using the pencil tool. So before we do that, let's go to the layer panel where we have the layer here, which is the background that we are seeing over here. And let's create a new layer. So to create a new layer, click on the plus icon over here. Alright, let's rename this layer to shape 1. And then on the left hand side, look for the pen tool. Click on it and select the first one. To customize our own shape, click outside the artboard and then move to the right hand side. Click and drag to create your first arc. Now, still outside the box, click and then move your pencil tool to the other side and join the lines together. When you are done, click on shape. This is going to create your first customized shape. So what we will do now is we will have to duplicate this shape. So by duplicating it, after your shape 1 has been selected, seen at the layer over here, hit Ctrl J to duplicate your shape and then rename it to shape 2. Alright, so click on shape 1 and hit the arrow key, the down arrow key, to drag it, and then double click on it, change the color to red so we can identify the shape. When you are done, we need to scale this shape or adjust it or tilt it in such a way it will look more presentable. So this is what we'll be doing here. Hit Ctrl T, and then this is your mouse cursor. Take it out of the box and now hold Shift and click to rotate the shape. Don't rotate it too much, or better still, you can leave the shift so you can now adjust your scaling and also the rotation. Good. When you use shift, it's going to give you the accurate rotation: 180, 90 degree, and then 270 to 360. Without the shift, you can adjust it on your own preference. Alright, so after creating these two shapes, what we need to do now is we are going to infuse an image into the shape, which is going to be our first image. So I'll go ahead and open my file, click on my poster design folder, and I'll be sharing this folder with you so you can also have all those vectors and images that we'll be using for these tutorials. So you select or you drag, put it on Photoshop, and then you go back to your layer and move it on top of the second layer. Position it well, and now we are going to create a clipping mask so we can infuse the design, so you can infuse the image into the shape 2. So by doing so, right click on the image and select create clipping mask, and that's it. So now what we need to do now is on my previous design that I did, I designed it around, I think that was 2020 for a client. So we want to do the same thing. So now the image is positioned from the right side. So I want to adjust it to fit the previous design that I did. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll click on that image and hit Ctrl T. And then once I hit a Ctrl T, what I'm going to do now is I'll hold the Shift and then I'll squeeze it to this portion, and then I'll take it from the left hand side, squeeze it to the other end here, and then take it from this side to this portion, so I can get the exact image position as seen in the sample that we are designing now. So in this case, we've already infused our first image. So now, what we'll be doing now is we have to design a shape where we'll put our logo inside. So on your layer, click on the image you see over here, the image that we infused in the shape 2, and then hit create new layer. So on the left hand side, select your rectangular 2 or your drawing rectangular 2 over here. When you click it, it gives you options. So select the rectangular 2, and then click and drag. Okay, now let's change the color to white by double clicking on the layer, which is the rectangular. So we've finally drawn our rectangular shape here. So what we need to do is give it a style. So move to the property, and the property, the appearance, this section, switch this off so we can focus only on this angle. We don't want this angle to look more pointed. So in this case, you need to switch this. If this is on, whatever you do here, it will affect all sizes. Let me try something for you to see. Imagine we have this on. When I hit on 30, look at the shape. It looks like a button. So I'll go back and undo, hitting Ctrl Z. And now, let me switch this on. Let me switch this off. So if this is off and I want to only focus on this angle, all I need to do is just to hit or change the figure here to 30, and it only affects this angle. So I'll make it 60. Yeah, I think this looks pretty cool. So now I will move it to break the rules. This is outside the box, but this is where we will contain our text. So now the logo shape is here, so you can rename the rectangular and name it logo 1 or logo shape, whichever way you want to name it. And then we'll have to create another one again, but you can duplicate this and then repeat it. But I just want to teach you how to draw or use those tools. So I want us to do it for the second time. So you create another layer, then use the rectangular 2. So this time around, it should be a bit longer than the first one. And then this time around, we are going to name it. Let's leave it how it is, to be rectangular 1. And then let's change the color to red. So when we are done, hit Ctrl T and let's rotate it to this way. And now hold Shift so we can reduce the height. All right, that's okay. Okay, so when we are done, let's add some small style to it as we did for the logo shape. So you go to the property, it's already switched off. So now we want to adjust this side only. So select 60. Oh, I think I made a wrong selection. It's this side rather, so 60. Oh no. Good. So this is what I was looking for. 60 is too much. Let's make it 40. All right. Now, let's create our first circular shape here. And that is going to be our price tag. So in this case, create another layer. Select the ellipse tool. Hold Shift. Click and drag. And then you just drag it and just leave it. Leave the mouse before leaving the shift, so you don't deform the circle. All right. So it will be here for now. And now let's apply the color. So with the price tag or the price shape, we are going to use the gradient color. So let's rename it so we don't forget. So go to your layer, double click, and name it price tag. All right. So at the bottom here, where you have the delete, the layer, the creating of new layer, the folder, and also the FX. So click on it and select gradient overlay. In this case, what we'll be doing now is I'm going to select two colors. So click on the gradient and then click on this box over here and select. So we'll pick the blue color. Press OK. Go to the second one. Select the same thing. This time around, lighter blue. Press on OK. Let's adjust this a bit. So you could select your own preferred color. All right. So I like this color. I don't like the black border seen around the circle. That is why most often you see me clicking on the shape and then switching this to 0. So I don't see any black border around the circle or any of my shapes. Okay, so let's position this one here, and then we'll have to create another shapes. Then we'll name them according to the service rendered or the service offered by the health company. That, for instance, let's say we are working on a health flyer for a company. So they need to see the kind of services that's actually they are giving out to people or something. So we'll have to use shapes to create images inside, and then we give it a name. So that is what we are going to be doing now. So we'll go ahead and then create another layer, and this time around you click on the first layer at the top here, hit on the plus button to create another layer, and name it service image. So service image 1. This time around we are going to use the polygon 2. So click on the polygon 2, and then what we'll be doing now is hold the shift as we did for the ellipse 2 to creating our circle. So hold the shift, click and drag. Oh no, we don't want the 5 side polygon, we need a 6. So you click on it. At the top here it's stated 5, so you click and then you change it to 6, and then you come to the top here and click on the move to. When you are done, go back and select the polygon 2, and then come to your layer. Make sure you've created a new layer, else it will be selecting any of the object that is here. Alright, so after creating your layer and selecting your polygon 2, so go ahead and hold the shift, click and drag. And this is the 6-side figured polygon. Now you can also scale it by using the shortcut key Ctrl+T, and then at the corner here you scale it. Okay, now I don't like the way the shape is, so what I will do is I want to turn it a bit to, let's say 180 degree. So I will tap on Ctrl+T, and then outside the box, when your cursor is inside the box, it will give you a pointer. So make sure all the time your cursor is outside the box. It's going to create this icon you see over there. This is, and when it becomes like this, you can easily rotate the shape to your preferred style. Now I'll leave it this way, and then move it to the top a bit, and also I want to scale it somehow bigger, like 170 by 197 pixels. You could see at the side over there, so 173 and 199. That is what I want, but you can also play along with it, set your own size. So when you are done, what we need to do now is we'll have to add some style to this shape to make it more appealing and look more creative, so it doesn't look more raw or something. So what you need to do now is we are going to do the same procedures as we did for the logo shape here. So this time around you click on the polygon, which is the polygon 1, go to the FX, the bottom here, and then select stroke. It's going to give it a border. So before you could see the border, the color is already black, and also the shape is also in the black color mode. So click on the color shape here, select the red color. You can select it from even your own artwork here, or You can also select them from here. So I'll go ahead and click on this, and you can see it's giving me a red border. So what I'll have to do is, it doesn't look more visible. It doesn't look visible at all. So the position, I'll set it to outside, and then my size to be 6. Or okay, let's make it 5. When I'm done, I'm going to add a shadow. So by clicking on or selecting this checkbox for shadow, and then click on the shadow here. And now what we will do is we'll set the distance to 9 or 10. So let's try 10, then the speed to be 3. Now the size here, we will use 12. And I think you could see the shadow around it. So press, or you click on OK to save the style. What we'll do now is we'll duplicate the polygon shape. So we need 3 polygon shape. So hit Ctrl J and then click and drag. And then rename it over here, Polygon 2. Repeat the same process, Ctrl J, hold and drag. And then name it Polygon 3. That's good. So when we are done, what we'll have to do now is infuse image into these shapes. We are going to create another clipping mask for these 3 shapes. Alright, so I'll head over to my folder, and then I'll take this first image. It's going to be scan. So I'll name it as scan. So it looks so big. So let's scale it smaller. And put it on top of the shape. Make sure it's on polygon 1. Yes, so this is polygon 1. You can switch off this FX so that it doesn't confuse you. So this is polygon 1, and this is the image here. So you create your clipping mask, and then you see it's inside. It's inside. It looks pretty cool. So you can adjust. Alright, so we'll go on the second one. So click on the shape, and then select your image, resize it, put it on the polygon 2, create your clipping mask. So we can resize it a little more. I want to turn it the other way. Okay, I think this one looks better. So we'll do for the third one. So we select this image, and this is the ECG image. So you scale it make sure it's on the third polygon. You can see it over here. This is the third polygon, this is the image. Go ahead and create your clipping mask. It's as simple. Alright, so now we have our image being created, and we've also created our shapes, the polygon. Now let's name those images we have here. So what we'll do is we'll have to create another layer. So click on the plus icon to create another layer and rename it to text box 1. And go for the shape. We are using the rectangular tool, so closer to the polygon 3 and create your rectangular shape, and then we'll create a gradient for the shape. So by clicking on the FX, select gradient overlay, and this time around we are changing the color to the marine blue. I don't know if there's a marine blue or whatever they call it. So we'll change it, and then we'll give the other side to lighter. So now you need to change the angle. I don't like the way the blending looks like, so we change the angle. This is the angle, it's at 90. So you can put at 1 degree. Click on the OK. There is a border here, so I'll remove it. Alright, so I have my first text box 1, so I'll add a shadow to it and reduce the opacity a bit, and then also the size and the distance. Alright, I'm done. I'll press and OK. So we have our first text box. So we'll do for the other two. So just duplicate the text box so you don't go repeating the same procedures and also the colors. So Ctrl J, and to duplicate it, click and drag to the bottom, and then do for the other one too, which is the polygon 2. This time around is going to be somewhere here. So what we'll do is we need to shift this polygon 2 shape backwards. So you go to the layer, and then you can see the image here selected, and this is the arrow pointing on the object. Sorry, the arrow pointing on the shape, which is the polygon 2. So hold shift and click on it so that it select both layers, and then Ctrl T, and then use your mouse as you click, hold shift and move it to back. I think this one is okay, and then press on enter, and then now go for your shape or the text box that you duplicated and bring it closer to the shape, and name this box text box 2 because of the polygon 2, and then name this one to be text box 3. Sorry, text box 1. Okay, so this is text box 1, text box 2. to the text box 3. Okay, so we are doing it the other way around. Okay, so now let's add a bit style to the text box. So the FX, click on the FX. No, we are not doing any changes. Let's give it a round edge. So you can switch this on, and then let's give it, the pixels will be 5. 5 is too small. Let's try 10. So this is the same. So this one, let's add 10. Same thing. 10. All right. So now, let's create our first text on top of the text box. Duplicate the layer, and then select text 2 or your type 2. Make sure it's in the horizontal form. So when you select, so you select the horizontal type 2, and then now come to your artboard, click on it, then now let's write something like scan. That is going to be the first box over here. So scan in block letter. So move it on top of the text that we created, and then the font is, use this type of font, or better still, we can go for the Arial font or the Montserrat font. Okay. All right, let's maintain this font because it looks okay. So let's change the style. Let's give it a bit thicker. So select the semi-bold and then resize it, hitting the Ctrl T, or you can also do it from selecting it here to 11. I think 11 is okay. Then we change the color of the text by double clicking to white. Now we have to resize the shape, which is the text box. So hit Ctrl T and hold the shift and then drag it. When you're done, hit on the moving tool. Okay, that's okay. So now duplicate the text by hitting the Ctrl J. Bring it downwards to the other shape. And this is the spirometry. So we need to type spirometric, spirometry. So now the text is out of our save area, so we need to resize the text. I've been using shortcuts, so I like using shortcuts most often. Why? Sometimes I forgot that I'm even doing tutorials. I'm even showing you how to use those tools. Alright, so let's resize the shape. And then I think let's do same for this. That's 7.48 instead of 11. 7.48. Alright, my number key is actually not working properly. So I will use the other option to scale it. Okay, so we'll scale this to 7.4K, 7.48. Because with this one, it's 7.48. So we'll give this one to 7.48. So hit Ctrl J to duplicate, and then to the last text box, that is the ECG. So ECG. Alright. So now let's scale text box. So Ctrl T, and then hold your shift, drag, do same for this. Ctrl T, hold shift, and you drag. You can also use the edit section at the top here to scale it by clicking on the text bar or the text, I think the text bar 2, then click on edit, free transform, then hold shift. But the shortcut key is more faster. So I want you guys to get to understand or familiar with the shortcut tools. So now we'll have to create another text inside this, and we are going to call it the platinum. So what we will have to do now is just to duplicate the same text over here, Ctrl J, and this time around we shift it to this section, and then we'll type platinum. So what we will do now is we need to rotate the text by selecting the text using the shortcut key, Ctrl J, and then also your cursor out of the box, which is the text, then hold Shift, then rotate text to negative 90 degree, put it on the rectangular, and then now you can now scale it. I think this is okay. So now let's change the style from semi-bold to bold. Alright, this is okay. So with the price tag, we'll do the same thing for the price tag. So we'll duplicate the text, and we'll bring it here. Then let's rotate it to 90. So now you double click on the text, change it to GH. GH is the Ghana currency. So if you are using the dollar sign, you can go with the dollar sign. I'm using the GH, which is the Ghana cedi. So in this case, I'm going to change the font. So I'm going to use changing the font. So you get to the property, and so first let's select the font, and then search for so we search for the scripts. Script empty bold. No, this is not the font. I think it's the other one, which is the Franklin font. So Franklin, yes, this one, the Franklin. So we'll use the denim. Okay. So let's make it a bit bolder. And then we'll change the color to yellow. So let's duplicate, bring it to this side, and then we write a CD. Right. So let's get it small, and then I think this look okay. This good. So duplicate this one, and then let's put the amount below here. So I will hit 1,200. That is the price for the service. So I'll scale it.
And that is for today's part 1 of our postal design. We have set up and started the structure. And in the next tutorials, we will continue building and polishing it together until we complete it. If you find this helpful, hit like, drop a comment if you have any question, and of course, subscribe so you don't miss the next part. See you in the next video.